How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I apologize about my tardiness. I don't think anybody's in here yet. I sent out a invite to my brother. We're gonna see what happens here. I know I'm about a half hour late. I apologize. My son's baseball game ran over a little bit. Hey, Kim. When my brother gets in here, I'm gonna have him. Hey, Witchy. I'm gonna have him show me how I can post the invite link in the chat. So if any of you would like to join the stream, we can drag Cecil together. Random, what's up, brother?
You are so fired.
I'm sorry. Do you forgive me?
All right, just this time.
I'm really sorry. I know you messaged me. I just got out of my son's baseball game, and the first thing I did was fire up the stream and invite you.
All right.
I apologize.
I'll forgive you this time. I'll forgive you this time.
Thank you. I hope I didn't mess up anything with your night, bud.
No, you're good. What's up, Witchy? What's up, Random? What's up,
I
man?
figured it was better late than never. Yeah, so I drilled about 30 fence posts today, so my body is completely torn up. I've never been this sore, I don't think, in my life from working.
Physical labor, manual labor. Man,
Yeah.
that's another thing Cecil don't know anything about.
Afraid not.
All right, let's see. All right, who do you need to send links to?
Can we post it in the comments?
Yeah, you just have to be careful about who you're clicking on to let up.
Okay.
I can post it in the side chat here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Today, I really want to focus on timelines and his stories and how the holes don't make sense until you add in the missing caveats that are missing.
That sounds good.
You better say hi to
Timeline's
Matt.
very important.
You better say hi to Matt before she kicks your ass.
Hey.
What up, Pirate Calypso? All right, so one of the timelines I want to talk about, first of all, is the whole thing he talks about that we're all a bunch of Steve Huff haters, and we're all only targeting him. We don't go after other pedophiles. The other thing is about we're all doing this for Irish Steve-O. So first part of this timeline is this. Prior to knowing about Cecil, I was not friends with Irish Steve-O. I was a troll. I was a troll to him. I was a troll to Pirate Calypso, to Savage, to Rainbow. Pretty much anybody in that community I was a troll to. Periodically, I would go over and take over chats when it was hangouts and things like that. And then when I paused on the trolling, I started listening to these folks stream. I started listening to pirate streams. I started listening to Savage and Shannon and Yes Sam and Steve-O and Map and Pearl. And I just started listening to all the people, and I started forming different opinions of people. And that's when somebody dropped a video about this kid named Cecil out of Kentucky. Well, I didn't know much about Kentucky at the time, so I kind of referred to Pirate to kind of tell me the laws and things like that. And that's how I discovered that there was no statute of limitations. So anyways, this kid gets up on a panel and starts talking about how he did all these crimes to two kids This is the original video, the very first time I ever met this kid. Important to understand here, I know nothing about paranormal research. I am not aligned with any paranormal research channels. I don't know who is good at paranormal and who is not. I don't know who's real and what's real. I don't know what's fake. I don't know any of that stuff because I am not in the paranormal community. I have no rhyme or reason. I can't call somebody fake or real without
Right.
knowing anything. I'm not in it. So my hatred for him purely stems from the fact that he sat on a panel. He sat on a panel and he talked about these crimes he committed over the course of 3 or 4 years to a 9 and 10-year-old as he was the babysitter. He clearly states he was the babysitter. He used to watch these kids, and he liked to emphasize that they weren't blood related. He felt like that was important because God forbid he be incestuous along with a child molester. But neither here nor there. He sat there and he admitted to these things. He did sexual things with them behind their parents' backs because they were rebelling, blah, 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 blah. He claims at 16, 17, and 18, he was still a boy and not a man, and makes other wild assumptions. Anyways, this was his video. He made this video. It's about 25 to 40 minutes long, give or take. In the process of him doing this video, he was talking about a bunch of other shit that didn't have anything to do with his actual confession. Which was the stuff about intent, stuff about some other guy, some stuff about his friends, and how they were going to talk about the girls. And so he decided to come clean about the story. So that's what kind of caught my eye and my ear. And that's when I started trolling him. At that time, Pirate, Rainbow, and I had formed a friendship, and we created a group called the Pirate Ship, because Pirate was kind of like the captain of the group, and blah, 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 blah. And over the time, the Pirate Ship grew, and eventually, we merged with Steve-O, we merged with you, we merged with a few other people, and we all became part of this big ship. Let's be honest, we were a bunch of outcasts. We all had our own little enemy groups everywhere, and there was a lot of infighting because we were listening to people that we shouldn't have been listening to, i.e. Sam and among other people. And eventually the group formed, and this is where the group is now. It's called the Pirate Ship. It's a group of over 400 people that make the ship itself, but the Pirate Ship consists of a handful of select individuals who do panels together or do parodies together. And each of us have our own mind and our own voice, and each of us have our own friends that we're not all friends with. Like there's people that like ATX and Sean in the Pirate Ship. I don't like them, but we don't discuss them on our panels where we're representing the ship. We discuss them only as ourselves, and I don't even stream about them. My whole channel's based on gaming now. I'll comment once in a while in Twitter and things like that, but for the most part, my problems with them is not the ship's problems with them. But when it comes to a pedophile, we're one group. We're all one voice. We stand for the same thing. This guy sat on a panel and admitted to these crimes. Now, if it were just that one video 5 years ago, I would have already been done with this nutbag. I would have been done. The problem is, it's not just the one video. And out of all of this came a third person, another child, who he was, again, babysitting for, who he committed yet another act on. He's attempted to, basically, for the first 2 years, he claimed the video was fake and edited. At the 2-year mark, him and his girlfriend came up with this wildly fantastic idea to explain away the crime by saying that he was a troubled sleeper and that he would sleep, walk, and sleep hump. And perhaps that's what happened. To the point where he even thought about bringing his sister on panel. His sister didn't want to go on panel. He tried calling his sister. She didn't answer the first time. The second time she called back, he talked to her and she said, listen, I don't want to be recorded. He lied and said he's not recording, but it was live. And he asked her point blank, have I ever molested those children, or have I ever molested the children? And she said point blank that he hasn't, as far as she knows, since then done anything. It was something he did in his past, but as far as she knows, he hasn't done it since then. That's her confirming that he, in fact, was caught by her molesting those children.
Right.
When he told the parents.
Well, Angelo, let me
Yes.
ask you something.
Yes.
That sleep pumping thing, that does that also include, I'm assuming, in his mind of, God, how can I put this so it's not too gross?
It's his way of trying to explain away the crime.
Well, I get it, but does that include sleep placing of the hands and underneath certain areas of clothing?
Apparently, it does.
Okay.
Apparently it does. Now, for most of us that understand sleep disorders and things like that, we know that that's not the case, because his original excuse of dismissing the video was that it was fake, that we somehow Michael Bay'd this confession video, which again, if it were just this video, I would say, yeah, maybe that's possible. Maybe somebody did do that, because I'm not the one who got the video. I'm not. It was David Bennings that got the video. Maybe it was Michael Bay, but the problem with that is the 189 now videos that he's made since then, where he's made some ludicrous and insane and not normal behavior of a man or a woman, for that matter.
Right.
Comments, allegations, and suggestions to children who he garners for in his channel. He actually he wants children in his channel. Okay.
Yes.
He has made sexual comments to a 13-year-old girl. He has made sexual comments to a 13-year-old boy, who could whoop his ass, by the way. He's shown up to 2 children's houses without their parents' consent, one to confront them, one of them, for being disrespectful to him online, a 12-year-old boy. A 40-year-old man showed up at a 12-year-old boy's house to confront him for some disrespect online. Like, welcome to the world of, this is the way the internet works, bro. You can't just show up at people's houses.
No.
Angelo, I hate to keep interrupting, and I'm sorry, but let's backtrack a little bit. As far as that video, and I'm going by memory, which may not be such a good thing, but did you not have that video analyzed and it be shown to have not been altered?
Yeah, we paid a professional analytics company who
The
analyzed.
video's it's been analyzed several different times, as far as I know.
Okay, well, I just wanted to bring that clarification out.
Thank you, Mom.
That's that's an important point, because that's why he won't take it to court, because he knows taking it to court means we have the ability to present evidence, because he basically thinks that what we're doing to him is slander.
That's why he won't. Exactly.
If he takes it to court, we get to represent ourselves with evidence, and the evidence is his 189 videos. Good evening, Shauna. How are you? Is the videos, and the courts won't just accept those videos; they will have them analyzed for valuation to determine, and he knows if they alter.
And exactly, Kim, I heard it too. The original, when he streamed it.
Yeah. Well, so it's not just that; it's the video of him when he describes the girls. A 40-year-old man is describing a 9 and 10-year-old as 2 hot little girls.
Yeah.
What would you do if 2 hot little girls? That conversation right there should have never happened.
No.
Which is why I'm saying he is his worst enemy. His girlfriend, who is basically culpatory to this crime now at this point.
Oh, she's his chief. She's his chief cheerleader and enabler.
She's got a sick kink with men that are pedophiles.
It's the second pedophile she's been with. There's the story of him talking about him and his brother and how they had sex mutually with another girl and fathered a child, and basically they have no idea which one's the father. He has 2 children. He has no custody, no communication, and no claim to. He has just this one girl because the only person that's ever stuck with him long enough is Hetty, and they not even married. They refer to each other as husband and wife. They're not husband and wife. I'm not
Right.
sure
And
why
there's not even
they're
there's
missing.
not even a such thing as common law marriage in the state of Kentucky.
I'm
So
not even
they
sure.
can't go on that.
And I'd like to, not to interrupt you, brother, but I'd like to talk on that too a little bit with Cecil's other children, because if he was any bit of a father, he wouldn't just throw those kids out to the wayside and let them grow up, you know, with him estranged to their lives. If he did, okay, but at least would make an attempt to financially care for them. Any father, any human being would, if you were a part of being in a child's life, if you weren't there physically, you would do your best to financially care for
Financially.
them.
But now he's
So
got an excuse for that, just like he's got an excuse, a ready-made excuse for everything.
you're right, Mama.
His story was that he had no way to be able to go see these children. So, since he was not able to see his children, and according to him, one of the mamas was doing everything she could to keep a monkey wrench thrown in his ability to see the child.
Well, knowing what we know about him, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, but since that was supposedly, and again, I say supposedly, the case, he decided that since he couldn't pay child support or couldn't see them, why pay child support for kids he couldn't be in their lives?
That motherfucker just does not want to spend a penny on anybody but himself.
No.
Exactly. He bought a computer for his daughter, the one that he just loves so much and is so proud of.
And then took it back.
He did give it to her. Exactly.
They took it back.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, there was a time where he logged into his underage daughter's account on YouTube in order to sub with adult-themed sexually oriented channels.
That's right.
Under his daughter's account's name. And he did this. This is all of these things are recorded. He gets mad because we use his words. You can't use my words against me. I didn't give you permission. That's not how it works, brother. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
We're commentating and explaining your video to the audiences so that they know exactly who and what you are, to keep you from gaining any kind of momentum on this platform, because you do not deserve to have it.
You are adding context, which is absolutely allowed.
And let's not forget, guys, that he also gave his daughter's phone number out to a convicted child molester rather than giving his own number out.
Yeah, convicted molester.
These are all facts.
Yeah,
these are all facts, people.
Yeah, this is Daddy of the world.
Okay, he made videos where he had a couple of girls over his house along with his daughter, and then pretended like he was going to smack them with a belt and said, 40-year-old man spanks two girls live. Okay, what normal adult father, what normal adult mother uses words like that, title streams like that, and pretends like that?
Well, let me ask you, what normal, and I'm using the term normal, adult, male or female for that matter, shows up at an underage child's home thinking that the parents are not there under the guise of cleansing evil spirits out of the house.
Yeah, how are you going to be cleansing the house of evil spirits when you're an evil spirit walking into that house?
If there's any evil spirits in that place, he brought them with him.
Exactly. He brought them with him. That's right. And he's doing this in front of everybody. Like, he's blatantly parading his sick ass around right in front of all of us, posting it on the internet for everybody to see. It's like a slap in the face.
Well, and then you look at his enabler.
YouTube doesn't take it down, Shawana, because
Yeah.
it's all based on a computer algorithm. And until a human being actually looks at the report, it's near impossible to take down a YouTube channel. You have to get a human involved. That's why people are tweeting YouTube on Twitter and stuff
And he's
like
got 3 or 4.
And we have to report on this guy, because if certain ingredients, if certain things that he has the opportunity to defend a child could get hurt. So I don't care. Discussion about Cecil is good. It's a good thing in my book.
You're in a
It
bad
gets
area.
people aware of him, and hopefully it's helping parents keep kids away from him. He's a dangerous person.
Now,
Yep.
Now, what's happened is our accusations come from his videos directly. In an interview with Rosie, he claims we've contacted the girls and the girls defended him. At no time has our group ever contacted a victim. Ever.
I would never know how to.
Ever. Secondly, he has turned around and tried to use... The stream's still up, but you're frozen.
Come back, son. Come back.
We may go down. Anyway, let me finish. So he has come back and gone after Riley's wife, and Riley's child by making what is slanderous and ludicrous accusations, not only against a family member of the Viper group, but just a friend in all totality of what a friend is. He gets very jealous that Riley receives gifts from people. And he uses that. He calls them goat, bag of food, and all this shit. Riley received things from people that love and care about him because Riley's not a shit dirtbag child molester like the one in Kentucky.
Exactly.
Okay? Riley is a good person. At no time has that family ever allowed anything to happen to their child freely. They have done everything they can to protect their child. We as parents do everything in our powers to protect our children, but we are not everywhere, every time, every single moment of the day. At some point, our children will face dangers, and there's nothing we can do about it until after the effect. It is what we do after that moment that defines us as parents.
And more's the pity is that you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, well said.
I'd like nothing more than to put my kid in a protective bubble and know that nothing could ever hurt him. But that's not my ability. I don't have that.
Exactly.
It's not hard to see. The magnitudes are wonderful parents. They're wonderful people.
They're doing everything that they're supposed to do correctly.
Yeah,
well,
and I'll always have their back. I'll always have their back, and I'm not going to let them talk shit about Order and his wife without at least allowing me to get my 2 cents in on that, because it ain't going to happen. I mean, not that anybody even takes him seriously. I mean, he literally is the laughing stock of YouTube, but unfortunately, this is where we are today, and we have to deal with this.
Nobody takes him seriously, but I'm still not going to sit by and let him talk about my friends like that, because it's a slant. That is the true definition of slander. Because at no time,
absolutely,
at no time have these people come out and said we let something happen to our child. They've never once made a statement like that, even remotely close to that. They haven't sat on a live stream describing their conquest of a 9 and 10-year-old like you have. That's why
exactly
the difference between what we do is called commentary on your confession. What you do is called slander. There's no evidence. There's no
gaslighting
or reason. First of all, second of all, UK is pretty tough on shit like that. Actually, tougher than this country right now, as far as laws go. If something like that had happened, Riley would not be on YouTube. He'd be in prison.
Exactly.
That's the first thing. The second thing is the fact that you are using that slanderous story as two things. One, deflection from your own confession, and two, to downgrade what you've done. well, oh, if their parents are able to do it, why couldn't I get away with it? Oh, no, that's not how it happened. You committed a crime that has no statute of limitations. And at some point, one day, when your victims feel like they have the power to come forward, they can still press charges on you, even if they're 60 years old. I don't care. And I hope that day happens. At no time have I contacted your victims. At no time have your victims ever defended you to me or anybody in this group, because we do not re-victimize victims. They need to
Absolutely
come
not.
forward with their own power and their own accord.
Well,
Our
Angelo,
video-
I'm sorry. I just keep interrupting. I'm sorry. But I think that it's it's heartbreaking, actually. Some of the background on his family that he has given himself, because I don't know any one of them from Adam's House Cat. But just from listening to some of the things that, that he has said, his family background is not that great. And apparently, this type of thing has gone on all through his family. Now, given that, plus the fact that a lot of families choose to treat a situation like this as something to be embarrassed and something to be ashamed of and something to deem the parents as being at fault and being unfit, they choose to stuff it as far back on the house closet shelf that they possibly can, never to see the light of day. And that's why in a lot of cases, and like I said, it's heartbreaking, in a lot of cases, these things never come to light. And it further enables the perpetrator to commit more of these crimes. Not to mention, I mean, honestly, the damage it does to the victims. Nobody knows what kind of damage has been done to those little girls, the extent of it.
That's right.
Or how it will affect those children's future. What's going to happen? What are they going to be? A lot of them end up with alcohol or drug abuse problems. There's a lot of them that are unable to form a bond with a partner, a proper bond. I won't even get into inabilities as far as intimacy, and some have those problems and turn to things like prostitution, along with the drugs and alcohol, end up being murdered or committing sideways. All because something like this happened and it was put up in the closet. It was never faced by the others in their life. They were never given a chance to work through it because they've been made so ashamed and
that's a
made to
good
feel
point.
that somehow it was their fault.
And why would they want to go online and constantly hear Cecil? For years, Cecil has been re-victimizing these girls by telling them it's their fault. They're the ones that came on to him.
They wanted it.
Yeah, they wanted
Which
it.
is a signature statement it is a signature predator statement.
Yep, it's never the child's fault.
And exactly. And if we had made that video, where would we have gotten words like those girls were already being molested anyway? So, I mean, where would we have gotten those words from?
Yeah, so what the hell? They're not worth anything. They nothing but a piece of meat. So, why not? And what was it that he said? What was it that he himself said? Why not give in to the lust?
Why not give it to
Exactly.
the
And that was the first part. That was the first video. That was a
Who wouldn't? If some hot little girls came on to you, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Very telling. Very telling indeed.
What are you gonna do when two hot little girls, hot
Exactly.
to me, is what he said. Hot to me.
What
Yeah.
are you gonna do? Very telling.
So
Very telling.
ask, first of all, you being victimized, because I do agree he probably was victim. He was a victim of
Oh, I don't
somebody else.
doubt it.
But
I
you
don't
being a
doubt it
victim
because a lot of the
gives
victims
you permission to be a predator.
turn into perpetrators
Yeah. There's no
if
pass for that.
untreated.
No pass for that. No
No, it's
pass
not.
for that. Nope. You
Because
had the
that's not an
power to be the
excuse.
most. You had to be the power. You had the power to be the most powerful advocate for people in your family, and you chose instead to become part of the problem in your family, not the solution.
You can make a choice to be a victim or volunteer. You can make that choice whether to succumb and use it as an excuse or to take that pain, take that degradation, take that injury and ball it up and use it as power behind your advocacy for other current or potential victims. That's
Bingo.
a choice. And sometimes that choice is hard to make, but that tells what you are as a person. Every person is, to a big extent, the choices they make, the things they do because of the choices they make.
So when he asked the question, and I'm going to give you his answer today. When will it stop? When will they leave me alone? They won't leave me alone. It will never stop. I will never leave you alone. You are a very dangerous creep predator on this platform. You have guns now. You have guns because while you can't molest children right now, you have to have some form of empowerment so you get it through the extension of your weapons. That's all they are to you is props, like a
Yep.
penis extension, because
That's right.
you're an inferior human being and you need it to prop you up. A guy with two guns who still got took for $100 playing a game that everybody and their mother at 9 knows is a scam.
Yep.
Okay. Seems legit.
I think that's bullshit anyway. I think he put that out there because he, just in case had he ever looked into why he lost the money, he wanted to have a story backing up what he was telling her. I think he really lost that money, smoked it up, or who knows? Who knows?
Oh, you had it right the first time. Smoked it up.
Yeah, he smoked it up.
And he wanted people to give him money. Thank you, hon. You're right. Yes.
He
It was
lies.
also a script.
He
It was also,
lies so
he only
much.
has two people that could possibly be giving him money. That's Queen Tasty and Angela Boone. And I have nothing negative to say about Angela Boone. I don't care what he claims we've said about Angela Boone. I have nothing negative to say about her. I knew nothing about her family, her children, or her situation until he released it. So you have to ask yourself one question, Angela. Who had the most information about you? That's pretty much who probably doxed you. There you go.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we don't know anything. I don't know anything about her.
Nope. And I even never blocked her on my channel. She was able to speak. I always allowed her to speak her mind.
Yep.
But the point is this. He is a dangerous human being. He is being protected and swaddled by his girlfriend.
Yep.
And he does not molest his own child and uses her as an example. By the way, let me ask you a question there, my brother.
Yes.
We're both parents here, and Map's the parent. Would you ever out your child's sexuality on YouTube?
Oh my God, man. No.
What would be the point of that?
It's just not something.
My child's a lesbian, so therefore I can't molest her. That's what I got out of it. Like,
Wow.
oh, my child's
Yeah.
gay anyway. My child's gay. Why would you say that? Why would you out your child? Why would you out your 12-year-old sexuality? What the fuck were you thinking?
That just tells me that there is no limits with. He has no boundaries when it comes to people's personal information or things that they might want to keep, private, right? Or
Right.
keep it between the family. The last place you want to put your child's information is on social media.
YouTube, especially YouTube video.
Especially Cecil, somebody who's been accused and is admitted to being a child molester.
Yeah.
He needs to keep his child far, far, far away from his channel.
Because that was
But
my
he
first
doesn't.
question. That was my
He
first
doesn't.
question. So my first question is, would you out? And then that goes for my wife, which I know already know her answer. Yeah, it's nobody's business what our children's sexuality is. Period.
Yeah,
that's
right.
The first, first. Okay. So next thing, does your child have a door?
My child has his own bedroom with a door. Yes.
What is the importance of a door for a child?
It's for privacy.
Because they deserve it, right? Even with parents, they deserve to have privacy from their parents.
It's a basic human need,
Basic human need. There we go.
A right.
Now,
It's a
our
right.
job is to monitor their if they're on social media. Our job is to monitor their social media, to limit the social media, to have safety procedures and programs in place so that they can't access certain things on the internet. All these things that we set up as parents.
Yep.
When we give them access to technologies like cell phones and computers and things like that. Okay, so that's that. The next thing I have to ask you is this. Let's see, my nephew's what, 10 now, or something like that, give or take. Okay, so would you describe our nephew as a sexy man beast, fully mature for his age?
Those thoughts never would even cross my mind.
Right, that's the key here. These thoughts don't cross our minds as parents because they're not normal thoughts. I'm not thinking of my 10-year-old dating a 17-year-old because in my mind it never would happen. It wouldn't happen. So my question is, he described his, at the time she was 11 or 10, as she looks to be 17, fully mature, boobs, and she's already having her period.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Why are we knowing this?
Exactly.
Next question. Would you allow a 10-year-old or 11-year-old or a 12-year-old, I'll even go to 12, to date a 17-year-old?
Shit, no.
No, because in the world of reason and responsibility, we know that that's not acceptable.
Yeah, we know it's wrong.
But since he did it, then I'm sure it'd be okay, right? Should be, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's only okay for him. In his mind, he tries to equate everything. He tries to make himself look like he's 20. He claims he looks like he's 20. No, bro. Yep. You don't look like you're 20. You look like you're older than me, and I'm older than you by 9 years.
Yeah. He looks, dude, he's in bad shape. He's decrepit. He's in bad shape.
Again, Cecil, the same advice I'm going to continue to give you. Shut the fuck up. Do your stupid music. Do your whatever ghost shit that you do. And stop talking about your fucking crimes and stop talking about kids. Because you are the worst possible person to defend yourself. Because you tell on yourself. Nobody in your family wants anything to do with you. Your own brother fired you. You can't hold down a job. You do things online to jeopardize your other jobs. Full uniform with guns on a company that you know for a fact has a social media rule when it comes to working for them. God, you're an idiot.
I'm loving these comments.
You are back in, Map.
Mama, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
There you
go.
Hey,
Hold on. I've been trying to one up my brother on the beard. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Now
Yeah.
Oh,
that is a
honey, you
sexy
have got a
beast right there. Dang. Now
Oh,
that's a beard.
wow.
This is how it's
That
I
done.
looks really
can't
good
wait to
on you,
send you
brother.
some
Thank
videos.
you. This is how it's done, Cecil. This
Does.
is how it's done.
That's how it's done, Cecil. Dude, that looks great
Wow.
on you, man.
Thank you,
That is
sir.
a good beard. I can't wait to
Came out
get
good.
beard products made for all of my.
Damn,
Oh my goodness.
that
I'm
pumps
gonna
me up.
dye it.
That's some
I'm
good
gonna
stuff
dye it.
right there.
I'm gonna dye it purple for epilepsy awareness.
There you go.
We got the beards running the family.
That's it. That's it. I
Oh,
don't think Cecil could grow a beard.
No, he grows whatever that thing is growing on his face. It
That's a
looks
trash
like
stash.
one used vagina is what it looks like.
nice.
Uh,
Sorry, Map guy, I was interrupting.
And I
Uh-oh.
oh, we lost her again.
She
Hey, Steve.
she lives in the mountains. Gilligan beard. Yeah. So he loves talking about his crimes. Oh, by the way, and every single crime that's ever been accused of him or that he's done or that he even served time for, mind you, let's remember that he served time. None of them were ever his fault. None of the
No.
jobs he ever got fired from were his fault. None of the stolen items he ever stole were his fault. None of the drugs he ever took was his. It was always somebody else setting him up.
That's right.
Always.
That's right.
What a dirtbag.
Hey,
So
and
yeah,
brother,
it never stops.
how do you figure if you're with somebody? Remember, like how it says that his boss was sniffing that little girl's panties.
Yeah, it was him.
How would you know all the details involved in that if you weren't right there with him doing it, or
And not tell him.
and not say no? That's and I even questioned him on that, and he said that he didn't want to have to walk home. That was his fucking answer. What a
Oh, wow.
pussy!
You wouldn't have had to walk home if you had called the police. The police would have given you a ride home after you took the statements.
I said, dude, why wouldn't you at least call the police on that guy for doing that? You were just cool with that. That was just all right with you. And his answer was he didn't want to have to walk home. What a
When my
pussy!
wife and I had a private conversation with him and his girlfriend, he had quite a different story to tell about the child allegation, which was that's where they came up with it. Isn't that where they came up with the sleepwalking thing, hon? That's when they came up with the sleepwalking thing, was when we had a one-on-one private conversation. Yeah, he must have been sleepwalking. Like, and Matt made a good comment, which is how do your hands go down people's pants laying in a bed flat on your back? Sleep, that's not sleepwalking. You're laying down. You got caught. And that's that timeline, by the way. After 3 years of doing that, and his sister threatening to tell the parents, he went and told the parents what happened, and guess what happened within 24 hours? His ass was out of that house. And as Map said, and as Shauna agreed, most families, as we know, in those times, I don't know if it's as prevalent as it is today as it was then, they tuck that stuff under the rug because they see it as some sort of a scar on their family, and they don't want to deal with it. And then they alienate the family member, and they have nothing to do with that person anymore, which is where Cecil sits at. None of his family, with the exception of his sister, have anything to do with him.
Right.
They keep it in the family.
Right.
Yep. Keep it in the family, as my wife said. And that's why he's never faced charges. Now, I almost guarantee you, based on my own experience, that these girls probably buried it and either very vaguely remember it or choose not to remember it at this point, because that is a scarring event.
It's scarring.
I mean, my wife didn't even know about what happened to me until we were 15 years into our marriage, somewhere in that neighborhood. 15
You know
years.
what I'm saying? That's horrible. That's horrible that has happened to you. But look, you're able to help people today in a different way that somebody. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody what happened to you. But you have almost. it's almost a gift, right? Because you're able to help people that are in a certain situation who otherwise they wouldn't be able to get that kind of help from somebody who doesn't know what it's like not being there.
I think our class action lawyer said the same thing at one point. They worded it. They said something like, "Well, if you could go back in time and change the events of your life, would you change what you went through?" If you had asked me that 20 years ago, I probably would have said, "Yeah, I would have stayed with my family." But today, because of how problematic it is with predators and how dangerous it is for our children, we need those people with those scars to be the spokesperson for those people because they're not strong enough to come forward on their own yet.
That's right.
So there has to be a voice for these victims. There has to be a voice for these kids so that they see that there are defenders out there for them.
Well, they're not always believed either.
Yeah,
That's right.
they're not always believed. Like we went years reporting this stuff when we were kids, and nobody ever believed us.
It's sad.
And it's a horrible situation. It really messes with your life. But
well, that's what we're trying to change.
Yeah,
we need to change that.
I was blessed. I have a great wife who, with her help and her, her love, I was able to face, the things I went through. I was able to testify for the lawyers. I was able to testify for the state police to have these places, shut down.
Yeah.
Granted, the guy, he died before he could get arrested, but he had a warrant out for his arrest. He was going to go to jail. That guy was basically facing 300 years of charges for the 400 and something children over the course of 50 years.
And brother, how would you hypothetically, if you don't mind me asking, how would you feel if every time you got on social media you saw the person that did that to you constantly talking about the situation and constantly blaming you for what had happened?
I would make it my sole mission in life to ruin that person's life.
Amen. That's
and,
can't you see?
here's the one difference I make with him is this. I don't want these predators dead. I want them to suffer years, decades inside of a 4x4 room, wondering every day that they go to lunch, dinner, breakfast, or the shower, if that's going to be the day that they're going to get their ass whooped. I want that life for them. I don't want them. That's the easy way out. Death is the easy way out. I want them to experience decades of torture for the innocence they stole from these kids. That's what I want.
Cecil, I am not going to stop exposing you until you're in prison or I'm in prison. Take that how you want it.
He claims that we've been to his school, never been there. Claims that we've been to his job, never been there.
Never been there.
Claims that we called his job. I called Jablong after he was already fired. Basically to tell him that the pizza sucked and that he was a fucking pedo, self-admitted. When he was live in his Securitas uniform with his guns, I added the Securitas YouTube channel so that they could see him. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I shared his video, which is something we're allowed to do on YouTube, right? Share videos.
Exactly.
That's what I did. I shared his video, and guess what? They saw it. That's all I know.
I mean, I do have that tracking device on his car. I mean, if he does find it, so what? They're not going to be able to.
Tracking device on my car. My car's always in front of a camera. No, dude, your car's in front of a camera when it's at your house. But when you get in it, drive, and there's somebody 8 cars behind you.
Dude, I was in the line at White Castle directly behind him, and while he was placing his order, he was actually arguing with the lady at the window. She was a really, really nice lady, sweet lady. But while he was complaining to her, I literally
that's the day he
opened up
called her having an attitude or something.
Yeah, I literally opened up my driver door, snuck out, and I stuck my magnetic tracker in his wheel well. He never even noticed.
Nice. Yeah, when he's distracted, he is distracted. He drives
Yeah.
recklessly.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, Order. I get it. Yeah,
So, brother,
definitely want them to suffer.
brother, I'm gonna have to jump off here pretty soon. How should we wrap this up? Unless you wanna
No, I think
unless you have more to say.
I think we said enough. We should do it another time with Order. Maybe Order can host a panel next time. We'll do it with Order.
Order, I apologize. I kind of messed everything up tonight. My son had a baseball game and I was running a little bit late. So I apologize, my friend.
Hey, give my nephew a hug for me, brother.
I will, my friend.
All right. Order, get with us on I don't know how you get a hold of us through Steve-O.
There you go.
And we'll set something up. Everybody else, be safe. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And I have to leave you with this because the times are getting very, very dangerous out there.
Yes,
If
they are.
you can be armed in any way whatsoever legally, arm yourselves, stock your foods, keep your fuels up high, keep your foods, at least 2 weeks in advance of food.
That's it.
And love your family because we're coming into some very uncertain times. I want everybody to be safe. Okay.
That's right.
Peace and love to everybody. Thank you very much for having me, brother.
Thank you so much for coming, and I love you all. You guys know that, and thank you everybody for coming in. Mama, thanks for coming up. You really made this a special stream. So let's all stay in touch. Let's all be here for each other. If one of us needs help, let's try to be there and do what we can to help each other. That's what kind of a community we are. And I'm gonna keep my foot on Cecil's neck. Period. So I love y'all. Peace.